This 10th grader says the title of her mixtape is Fantastic Beats and Where to Plant Them. With Cure for Consciousness, Taya Lamy.
And with that, the coaster plunged into a dark, winding tunnel. my pivotal ritual and forsake my homemade deities for untouched footage. So starved that it couldn't possibly sustain my ravenous heart, an unfiltered workday of 24 hours can be condensed into seconds because God knows my mind is eternally employed. I don't have time to retrace my steps, and why rehearse your own vulnerabilities like Bible verses when you've run over them so many times they feel as though they're engraved into your skin? I lust for movies with pine over, the glossy kind that inspire saltwater Niagaras, decorating cheeks more delicately than the ocean could ever hope to. I'd much prefer seconds spun into film scenes with lighting so blush that I could use it as rouge, words so bombed over I might mistake them for belonging on my lips, when in fact those words are not mine. At this sort of introspective fermata, the cinema has not made me cry in a while, because lights besides those of moving pictures have reached me. I have come to the conclusion that my bitterness stems from my lack of taste, the sweet deficiency of knowing when to resist a craving. Just because you covet something does not mean you must embody what you covet. Though my lows are not accompanied by symphonies that harmonize with my stubborn heartbeat, I could sell my lows to actors and be able to pay the bills of everyone in this room. And my highs may not be swollen like white dresses blossoming for false wind, but my highs make hard drugs look like child's play. I may overflow a little too much for the taste of Hollywood, but at least I have substance. And this is where the tender revolution begins. My teeth no longer ache from biting down on the junctures of my words, and instead take something more to sink into. Outtakes coat my throat like cough syrup, but it eases my speech, and really such a taste is acquired. I used to let only the most refined parts of myself write my obituary, but I would rather not be a liar when dead. And so my eulogy belongs to the slivers of vulnerability. After all, what is more vulnerable than life? In this state of constant evolution, consistent revelation is required, so I upset the nerves that work so hard to singe off and let them short-circuit themselves as time pursues us. I whittle down my memories to fit more comfortably in the corners of my heart. My expiration date seems less like a condemnation. Self-destruction is no longer an option, for I have a revolution to begin.
The title of her mixtape is Voicing the Silence, with her poem Our Diminishing Puzzle. Page your arms.
Our diminishing puzzle. Humans, an evolutionary species, changing as every second pulses by. Individuals seeking different elevation within life and minds consciously awaiting enlightenment. Solving life's Rubik's Cube, one color at a time. Earth, mother and child, home to all, goddess of life and effortless beauty. Striving within the aid of our interconnected web as pure as crystalline water shimmering with love, nurturing those who nurture her. A true heaven all organisms know. Humans, a destructive species, remaining as dull creatures while time decays. Demons of the night, hellions at the crack of dawn, the touch of our fingers crumbling the present into ruins of the past, plucking unblemished feathers from a dove. Earth, a mutual landfill, a peasant to demolition, fermenting into spoiled milk, causing the flea of the hair within our nostrils to shrivel and hide, washing away with the blood shed among our acts of terror, distributed within the sweat covering our hands. Humans, craving the empowerment of money, and minds drove by the motivation of what has been perceived as success, placing ourselves above all, degrading those which have existed before our time. Earth, a tortured lotus stripped of purity, now defenseless to the mud, shaped as the hands of the human species, wrapped in the chains of our smiles, and shunned by the masks of our egos, a fragile soul falling prey to our addictions. Humans, corporate handshake and the demand of green trees. Pieces to this wondrous puzzle are thoughtlessly thrown away. We turn our heads, ignoring the sight of murder, unaware there is no longer a full picture. One day, gazing into the night sky, we will mourn over the depletion of our home, wishing upon shooting stars time would reverse. All that was lost cannot be regained. The lives which were stolen will forever breathe within the memories of our thinking minds. She is our child, victim to parental abuse, neglected by those who believe our planet revolves around them. When all the trees have collapsed and the animals lay breathless, when the water has been drained through the palms of our hands, when the plants have been wilted and the crickets remain silent, when our food can no longer grow in pesticide-mutilated soil, when the last inch of our atmosphere has been overruled with smog, humans will realize the simplistic lifestyle which is desired is as unattainable as searching for the end of an indefinite loop. Our earth, wasted away and polluted with the absence of remorse, until existence is the last piece of the puzzle thrown away. Thank you.
Next up is a poet who I always look forward to. The title of her mixtape is Most Inspiring Nicolas Cage Quotes for tough times. Right? The title of her poem is Michelle Obama, I Am Sorry. Mary Shelley.
You gotta love America. We live in the land of the free, home of the incarcerated. Children are the future, a future full of possibilities. There is a possibility we may not be here at all. Climate change. The breadbasket is abundant with fossil fuels, and we are just waiting for someone to shut down the government. Protest after protest, scandal after scandal, man reverting to toddler, and it's sad because I could be talking about several different people in very high positions of power. Because we seem to be the only ones who think there's something wrong with this, because God knows this is not how our lives were supposed to be spent. As children, we believed in an era in which we fix our parents' mistakes. As it turns out, most are irreversible. Well, we did our best. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. Millennials are lazy. Just pay off your $200,000 college loan and shut up about it. When I was your age, well, when you were my age, Patty, people still killed black people and got away with it. Anyway, where did that billboard go? The one with some guy named Carl that looked like Guy Fieri from Food Network, the one that said, I can fix your debt, can you? Because we're at about 68 trillion, and there is no line of sight. I can see where this goes down at all. Yes, I know everyone hates President Clinton because he married a competent woman capable of leading a country, but the U.S. actually made some money with him. At least he didn't bankrupt our country. That was your beloved Reaganomics. Listen, I know you're all tired of hearing this. I am too. I miss the days when slam poems were about how school isn't fair, technology ruins your brains, and general disapproval for dumb people in politics, and being upset because your parents don't understand you. I really miss that. Before everything was ruined by 2016, I thought feminism was being outraged by the dress code announcements they insist on repeating in the middle of the day. Ended with everybody being able to get married. I thought racism would end after logic set in and white people stopped being so extra. average closed-minded white football player is, they would just automatically and fix themselves and get a better haircut while they're at it, but apparently not. If you heard some dumb white kid make a problematic comment while playing with his fidget spinner, but you didn't say anything, because he'd call you a crybaby liberal and tell his friends through vape puffs he was attacked by a homo, you know how it feels to go to Clarkson High School. If I hear one more Vera Bradley lunchbox say people on welfare are lazy and use money to buy drugs, I'm gonna start screaming! People on welfare literally can't get money from the government unless they're looking for a job or already have one that doesn't really help them survive. So then welfare gives them a little bit of money so they can survive, but everyone still hates them, so what are you gonna do? And I don't care if you come home to quinoa and avocados and your mom belly dancing, you are not an Indian woman at her wedding, so please don't get a henna over spring break and Instagram it with a lo-fi filter on it. Also, please stop touching black people's hair. I can't even imagine what it would feel like personally, but I have seen way too many whiteys straight up stick their greasy little fingers right into the blessed locks of a beautiful African-American woman, and when she says, I am not petting zoo, they somehow get offended. Who needs a safe space now, Tammy Lysosome? I am just as guilty as you guys, though. I can't tell you how many times I've regarded my friend's hair as some sort of alien species, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry that Tammy won't stop yelling at Obama for warning people about climate change while ushering thousands of Syrian refugees into our backyard. Like what? Like, are you actually insinuating that climate change is caused by Syrian refugee children? Like, okay, Tammy, I'm pretty sure your Brita filter is more damaging to the environment than a child being provided with food and shelter. But hey, I'm just a snowflake, what do I know? Speaking of Brita filters, Flint still doesn't have clean water, but who cares, right? That crisis was kind of a trend. It only lasted for a couple of weeks, and after you shipped some water bottles over there and got a few NHS points and reminded everyone what a good Samaritan you were, you quit. I mean, am I wrong? Sorry to expose you like this, but I was exposed to how babies were made when I thought I was pregnant for 2 years in second grade because I was literally so fat. It was only when I asked my mom if she would take care of it while I went to school that she sat me down and had the talk with me at 9 years old. So yeah, maybe I got a few extra lumps, but maybe there's a few too many Trumps in office, and at least I don't have that on my hands. All I got up my sleeves are a few memes and probably some Cheerios because I eat like a monster. And yeah, I have an evil witch cackle for a laugh, but at least I don't have Kid Rock's autograph. I wish I could have written something better than this, but as most of you know, I literally never learned how to shut up, so I never try. Especially when all I can talk about is Melissa McCarthy's imitation of Sean Spicer and how SNL used to exaggerate people's personalities, but now they don't even have to because our country is a joke in itself. But hey, it still makes me laugh. Thank you, women of SNL. Live from white suburbia, it's Saturday night.
One of these days, Mary Shelley's going to get me fired. The title of this 12th graders mixtape is Breaking Hangers, with Throw Eggs Not Parties, Janet Downing.
I'm sorry, but my poem is not about eggs or parties. My name is Janet, and I am privileged. I am privileged because I was born on top of a mountain looking four walls that will not disappear because I love her instead of him. I am privileged because there's always somebody else to blame. You see, there's nothing wrong with privilege until you start wearing it like a white veil that segregates you from the rest of the world. Until what you look like, how you dress, and who you love make it okay for you to build a wall straight through the heart of equality, until John 3:16 only applies to John Deere and John Smith, but not John Doe, who was brutally murdered beyond recognition for things that do not make it okay for you to stop loving thy neighbor. My skin color does not define me like my mistakes do not define me, like my sexuality grades, dreams, shortcomings, goals, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend do not define me, like you are not defined by the confines of your parents' mind or the choices of those who look like you, and you are not defined by what goes where or what someone thinks is supposed to be down there. But there is no summation of words that can define the hurt in my heart when they misgender you, mistake your skin color for consent, misunderstand the most important message of them all: love trumps hate. I can stand here before you mumbling off definitions to words you'll never say. I could define the words homophobic, racist, and cynical, but those I'm sure you know pretty well. But how does one define white? White, free from color. White, free from more than just color. White, can you even define racism? White, standing on the other side of the gun. White, all lives matter. White, represented and romanticized in the media. White can fail for reasons other than flesh. White, flesh-colored band-aids, tights, bras, underwear, swimwear. What should I wear? I don't know, maybe I'll wear white. Privilege. He keeps tweeting about how the unfortunate thing about white privilege is that he was born in white skin in a predominantly white neighborhood in which he attends a school where he is the majority, and how we have not asked for this privilege yet they are still hated for what I cannot control. Do you ever wonder what that's like? If you aren't catching my irony, I'll say it again for the people in the back. We live in a racialized society where the color of your skin becomes an explanation for your GPA and an excuse for your bad behavior, where your character and your morals are not evaluated unless you're a struggling actress looking for more roles. We are conditioned to look like activists, act like allies, and dress like Harriet Tubman or Laverne Cox, but instead of wearing our hearts on our sleeves, we drape ourselves in pride flags as we stand on the sidelines just watching our brothers and sisters march for the equality handed to the silent majority at birth. Riddle me this. If there is only one way to define definition, how does thesaurus.com decide that interpretation and definition are interchangeable, but I can't decide that I love girls and boys? If we are not aware of who fits where, why are we drawing lines, building boundaries, and forcing people into boxes that nobody wanted anyway? If we do not know who we are, and we cannot define who we love, and we cannot identify the greater purpose of this world, who are we to define what is holy or what is right? Who are you to tell them that there is no such thing as gender fluidity because the big book written by the big man in the sky says so? Who are they to tell me that what I lack makes me less than, but what I have makes me more than, when in reality I never asked for anything at all? Because to me, you are all more than a single string of words, and you are not encompassed by a list of similar adjectives. You are not your privilege or your income or the mistakes that your mother made in high school. You are not who you love, and you are not who loves you. You are not a reflection of what people think that you are supposed to be. You are not him or her or we or us or them. You are you. And as you are trying to define who is you, please don't do what many choose to do and decide that privilege and luck are interchangeable. For I am not privileged to be lucky, but lucky to be privileged. Thank you.
The title of her mixtape is Why Did I Write a Serious Poem? I'm Not a Serious Person. With an epitaph to trust, Elena Hopkinson.
In retrospect, I I should have known. Your intentions were primarily in your own favor. You handed me away like I was a broken toy, but who could blame you? Maybe you're right. I am a broken toy, the product of good fun with too much aggression. All broken toys have to have a breaker, and I think it was you that broke me. But it's okay. I forgive you. We can move on and forget. You don't like that idea. You said you'd rather remember. When push comes to shove, that's all it was with you, and I was left bruised and beaten, waiting for you to kiss it better. But I should have known better. I should have known that when you bent down, you really meant to dig your spear deeper into my crucified side, but still, I forgive you. God, I thought I was anointed. I thought that I was special, thought that I was different, but now I see. There's no difference between you and me, besides the simple fact that I love, and you don't know how. You see, physical aggression doesn't show your affection. Cursed words do not heal when they're thrown in my direction. Getting loud doesn't hurry my assimilation to your rules and expectations. You never seem to understand that your anger harms me more than your fist, that I am a broken toy because of the words you speak. I don't think you'll ever know. Day after day, I deal with my affliction, but no longer with the person who caused it. You threw the broken toy away, and soon I'll forgive you. But for now, I lay in silent, nightmare-filled slumber, wishing you were different and wishing I could hate you, but the reality is I can't. I've never been able. My head's a jungle, and your words were the predators that preyed upon my debilitated thoughts, meant to destroy any hope my fragile mind possessed. My only aggressor, you broke my mind before you ever broke my body. I'm the toy you destroyed. I hope you feel an ounce of importance. I let you take me apart. And now, I sit here putting my little puzzle back together. I can do this without you.
Up next, we have another amazing sophomore. The title of her mixtape is Varied Adhesive. Entitled Stargazing, Natalie Martindale.
Hydrogen combustion, glowing green, blue, silver, gold, everything, every color, every photon ever to exist, shooting from your corneas, but that star has died. This earth is cold. I once looked at you and you emitted the entire spectrum of visible light, but as your wavelength shortened, so did your words. And now you shoot gamma rays with your glare, and I'm blinded. The radiation is melting my cells, and I never thought that loving someone could be cancerous. I once looked at you and saw a gentle tongue of a candle's flame and was mesmerized, but I should have known that looking into the light too long ruins your vision, and only now do I see the tumor formed behind my eyes. Surgery can't save me now. I may have removed the diseased tissue, but the rest is still damaged beyond repair. The scars can't be covered. There is no eclipse for a dying light, and even though the flames burned out, the surgeon's hands won't stop shaking. For the fear of annoyance still scorches my skin every time you part your lips. I once looked at you and saw the sun, but now I see your deserts and bleached bones that have left me bleeding out on this operating table beneath the white of your hot stare, illuminating my every mistake. I once looked at you, but I'm afraid to be blinded again.
The title of Elijah's mixtape is Bill Nye and Other Science Guys Dubstep Remix. The title is Entropy and Empathy. Elijah Olson.
second law of thermodynamics in science is that the universe tends toward entropy. Now, I could disagree. I could say the universe will be fine. That we can fight back. We could fight back against an inevitable doom. Or I could be right and say that it didn't. So our universe tends towards chaos. Dark matter and humankind catalyzing this reaction equally. So if words are weapons and we turn fists to thoughts, we'd end up with more dead at our door than ever before because weapons safety isn't really taken anymore. We either turn our mouths to automatic or tune out to white noise static because in the middle of this riot we only seek peace and quiet, voices that build us up rather than break us down. All too often we spray and pray that we forget who we hit. Otherwise we'll have to plead with our consciences to stop burning because this world won't stop turning. Not until kindness is killed and chaos is king, this world won't stop turning. Stop turning my dreams to dust, my news to nooses, my hope to hate. Our words are reactants, and disorder is the product of this inevitable reaction. Our world tends towards chaos. There's no equilibrium to equate, no balance to bring. Yet we still come armed to the teeth, standing on gasoline, a combustion reaction that is bound to happen. When caring words fail, entropy prevails, and hate derails this newborn revolution. So if words are weapons, I'll use them to fight. I will not go quietly into this good night. I will kick and scream to dethrone our king of chaos, of gossip, of slander, of hate. It's not too late to reverse this reaction. So cease your aggression and practice discretion to fight this regression. Put empathy into action and stop this reaction.
The title of this sophomore's mixtape is Mom Tunes for the Mom Friend with Hang In There, Mackenzie Griffin.
Okay, just a little nervous. Anyway. Storms will pass. Pass this test. Test of patience. Patience is running away from this stress. Stressed out. Tapping pencils, tapping toes, tapping into a mind that feeds me nothing but a blank page, blank page. Pages crumble dreaming of leaving this spot the eraser shavings that litter my desk. Because I can't comprehend the words, try and write the words, outcut the words that make no sense. Senses scrambled thoughts unclear, hang in there. There I am, there I will stay. Hands slammed into heads bang into walls, hands slammed into hands, and hair torn out come the cries, in come the heavy breaths of dusty air, out, in, in come my parents at the sound of my own sobs, and over the sobs, I'm told to go to bed because I'm too stressed to continue going on tonight. But tonight is not the only night. Sometimes it's nights on end. I cannot sleep, the bed is not comfortable, I am not comfortable. And instead of my hands, my head slams into a pillow, and the tears slam onto the bed, and the bed is soaked with tears because that test tomorrow is not the problem, and the blank page is not the problem, and the words are not the problem. It's the unaddressed problem, the problem of my darkness because I can't find the light, even when it shines in my face from the lamp on my desk. Words are forced. I'm force-fed motivation, I'm force-fed inspiration, and I've got a problem with every kitten poster that tells me to hang in there. Because as I hang, I still cry. Cry as I watch the movements of the people below can place words into perfect melodies, into perfect stanzas, into perfect rhymes, into perfect lives, and into my life, one enters a world of mashed sentences and scrambled thoughts. As I slam my head into my hands, I fall into darkness, into wordless black holes. I can't form the words still to say that the black in my life is the hurt I hide, and I'm sucked into every black hole my mind creates, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. But still, every kitten on those colorful posters tells me to hang in there. Woo!
measure in this very ice cream shop. Little did I know that Blue Eyes and Blue Moon were not the same flavor. Even dipped in sprinkles and topped with whipped cream, nothing can stop the cracked inner styrofoam cake cone.
I prefer waffle cones, but did you know that your hazel eyes can be disguised as a caramel river flowing swiftly through a rich chocolate ice cream landscape? Ever since I was 6 years old, that's all I would ever order.
Frozen fruit stained your lips a shade that reminded me of stop signs, but I was still learning how to drive. I mistook a red for a green, and I guess that's how I ended up with a tongue that could tie a cherry knot.
I pushed my tongue to the roof of my mouth, trying to ease the pins behind my eyes, trying to feel something other than your consistent coldness controlling me.
I want to name your favorite flavor after you, but my boss would be mad.
It doesn't taste like love.
I didn't know this at the time, but the plans we talked about someday in the future didn't include me. We chatted about Princeton, Stanford, and Brown, and the only spelling we thought about was a banana rather than the distance.
You have created a controlled catastrophe. I created unsteady handholds and kisses.
At least in this ice cream shop, I can control the scoops and the sprinkles.
We were a melting mess dripping down the floor.
I thought your sticky ice cream hands would help pick up my pieces, but all they did was cover down the girl's cheeks as you kissed her.
You reminded me of the stars, bright and always there, always emerging from the darkness.
I haven't slept very long since the last time you visited.
Summer.
The beach, stand on my toes, racing all the waves, leaving all the thoughts of my GPA behind.
I was too busy being yours to be someone else's. When the facade of a yellow sun harmlessly beats down on us, but in reality, its ultraviolet rays color my skin the shade of an artificial cherry syrup.
The lake, late night bonfires erupting with laughter.
If only you knew how much I missed your rocky road.
You used your ice cream cone to brand your name into my arm, but you didn't stop after that. You waves to inch my skin.
This is what you brought me. A headache of confusion. Through the pounding, I might have lost myself steadily. I can't seem to tell if you're a headache or a brain freeze.
I can depend on ice cream Sundays being cold, but the boy who walks in every Tuesday afternoon with some girl I thought I knew just to taunt me, yeah, I can depend on them being cold enough to freeze my flesh fully.
I messed up the next customer's order.
It's like the freezer port sorbet that you take out of the freezer years after you put it in there. It doesn't taste safe. It doesn't taste like home. Apparently love doesn't taste anything like mint chocolate chip either.
You spoon-fed me gullibility until I was begging at your feet for the poison I choked down, the sprinkles I coughed up, and the whipped cream I could not swallow.
It tastes like missed calls. Your memos full of my voice, even though I hate the sound of recording, it tastes bitter.
You're a rhythm of a song I didn't recognize and couldn't get quite right. But when you asked me to sing along, you said I was flat. That's not the only thing you called flat that day. I thought you would love me for me.
I'm not able to decipher it yet. Was my inhalation of ice cream too fast? Slowing down the processes in my brain.
The dull, constant throb rippling through my head, echoing off every chamber and roll of my mind. This is what you brought me.
But I mean, who knew ice cream could be so deadly? Who knew I had a dairy allergy?
You.
The flavor of the day is you.
You. The way your eyes don't seem to sparkle the same anymore. The way your melodic voice doesn't lull me to sleep, but rather puts me on edge.
I think I still love you.
I can't seem to remember.
Let's just be friends.
I think I'm a little too forgiving.
It's a revolution inside myself. I can start and can't seem to end.
Soft vanilla in a cup.
That'll be heartache. That'll be trust breaking. That'll be wondering why. That'll be $4.36.
Give a round of applause for all our first half poets. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission, and when we come back, we'll have another musical act and a few surprises in the second half.
I'm thinking of it.
Where's Anna?
He's such a great guy. Oh, come on. It was a game. Mitch, when you were like, all right, I think that I'm really good, and you were like, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's find your seats, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the second half with another musical number. These two young women sought me out, and it was an easy yes for this. They're very, very talented. Welcome to the stage, Megan Forshe and Mackenzie Woodward.
Give another round of applause for all these amazing poets we've had tonight, because it's been incredible.
I would also just like to say that in case you didn't read it in your program, Mackenzie did write this song, and this is hers. So, she deserves
I love you too.
I'm the girl who plays with matches, praying that she won't be burned. But I forget the sparks sometimes turn into flames, then I get hurt. I know that I have spent so much time wondering what we should be. If I let your fire wash over me, even though I know the flames will recede. So here I am in the dark, holding on to that spark here at my fingertips. And if the flames are yours, I know I want to be burned. I light a match each time that I'm alone with you, and as the flame gets closer, I know what I should do is blow it out and flick away the ash before I'm burned. But I think I like the way that it hurts. So here I am in the dark, holding on to this spark here at my fingertips.
don't, I'll still be hopelessly in love with you. And I know that your fire will be death of me, but can't you see that here I am in the dark, holding on to that spark here at my fingertips, and if the flames are yours, I know I want to be burned, oh burned, oh, oh,
Our first poet of the second half is a young lady who puts on her own poetry event here at Clarkson High School, usually in the winter, with the title of her mixtape being Actively Searching for the American Dream, Volume 18. The title of her poem, A Love of Smoke and Mirrors, Olivia Mayday.
I had met you when I was young, when our fingers nearly touched at the prismatic light that formed between them, as if recognizing what it would mean to touch your soul with the gentle caress of humanity. I imagined your arms were soft and gentle, two clouds of crystal composition meant for softly turning the pages of the beautiful stories you held in your mind, woven from a heart meant for writing soft words of convictable passion. That was the last time I can say I felt a longing to be held in your embrace. Your hands were always pulled away from mine, grasping that killing thing between your fingers, to breathe out the solemn words about protecting the youth from the destruction that came from within. I never knew if my small hands reached beyond the sides of your palm, reaching for a place of comfort where I could learn to love a grandmother, smoking away the fantasies of compassion with a heart drenched in the blackest days of deprivation. You were an illusion to me, like a fairy of the lilac skies where you planted your crystal words for the world to hear. I used mirrors to block out your dysphoria, a reflection of my own imagination. Where you stood was where I placed your heart, sculpted your soul out of patchwork quilts you never found time to make, and woven tapes of memories we never shared. I imagined the smoke you blew was a halo that would one day give you the strength to love me, or just talk because I believed you would have a lot to say about something. I could tell you about my theory that Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing, and you would tell me about how you watched Neil Armstrong on TV and vividly remembered the hope you felt from within, knowing that we had conquered the stars. But that's a feeling I will never know. The small girl has become reliant upon the magic tricks of the mind, thinking you will one day love me more than the cigarette smoke and blacked out days of mortality that has become your new shining moon. I never told you, but when I visited your home, I just tried to destroy the secret to your desolate life, poured a pack of cigarettes in your lake to watch the suffering drown, imagining that with each lost poison you'd be cured of your inhumanity, hug me tightly and apologize for drawing your heart away from the small girl who loved to be built out of the fear of growing apart. Yet, I was surprised when they floated, each body lifelessly supported by the liquid mass of the world, swaying gently in the soft waves, only to be washed upon the shore in a gust of wind. I have have not visited you since. Scarcely planted grass now grows in the place where I have buried you in my mind. I imagine it would be easier to say that's where you exist now. Passed away is a phrase that means no longer present, inexistent mind in the realm of humanity, incapable of feeling an emotion, living a life. To me, you are passed away. I imagine you would want me to play the violin at your funeral, even though I haven't played since I was young. But I could compose something for you, a requiem to solidify the cracks where you last left me to lie alone in the solemn world, to take the edge off your guilt or lack thereof, to plead to you the love I felt when I nearly met you at first, and the strength I have found in my own imagination of a woman writing books within the cool gardens of my mind, breathless dreams because your lungs were incapable of reaching air, never holding on to your own life or the life of those around you, yet still pretending with every prism of light between our fingers that you could still find a way to love. So I sit waiting for the gray skies to form when your body turns to ashes, so I can pour out the contents of your dream into the dark waters of misunderstanding and watch them sink, forever waiting for a piece of your love to float. Thank you.
This young man came to me in 10th grade and he said, "Mr. Isley, I want to do poetry." Welcome to the stage with the title of his mixtape being Good News for People Who Love Bad News, and his poem trivia, Zach Eflin.
It takes 13 milliseconds for your brain to come up with the words you are about to say, and yet you decided to waste those 82,944 neurons on calling me pointless. I could know all of the trivia in the world and still not understand human emotion. Maybe if I surround myself with this barrier of knowledge, I won't have to get out of this 1600s invention that was renovated with a new linen interior in the 1800s, in which iron and steel were fitted for the frame. Do you know that iron is not always magnetic? The A allotrope can disappear, leaving the material looking the same, yet completely useless. Yes, that is what you would call this trivia, useless. After all, the etymology of the word trivia, which is a fairly recent noun made in 1920, comes from trivial and then trivialis. We call random information and discarded thoughts trivial, enough to pass the mind, but not enough time to think, why am I just a side character in my own story? Feel completely trivial. I woke up in the morning not worrying about this 5.8% chance of children under 18 dying in a car crash as I traveled to school, putting on a smile of 32 teeth, but for some reason my teeth don't look like 32 teeth in the meal. The meal was invented by Justice von Liebig in 1835 for practical household use. It's hard to believe the image of my self-loathing could even be considered as invented. Did you know that a volcanic eruption in 1815 in Indonesia caused parts of the U.S. to accumulate snow from the days of June 6th to June 7th? Sometimes I wish I felt that significant. I move through these crowded halls, those 9 tiles on the ceiling, 9 tiles on the floor, and a light hangs above every 5th tile. I've counted. And sometimes I can't help but think about the saying that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, which isn't really true, because it takes 10 muscles to smile and 6 to frown. And maybe I'm getting off track here, but the human body has 206 bones. Your eyes see everything upside down, and your heart beats 40,000 times a year. Yes, maybe that's why my stomach feels like it's upside down. I promise I'm not depressed, it's just proven true that it's easier to frown. But your body strengthens its muscles by using them constantly, which might be a valid argument for why smiling is better. But that doesn't explain why my heart pulses more each time it breaks.
mixtape is Liar, Liar, My Mixtape on Fire. With her title, Awake, probably the weirdest kid I've ever met. Jesse Greatorex.
Thank you, Mr. Isley. Okay. I pick it up, this killing device, this stress igniter, the cause of my strained eyes and impaired eardrums, the culprit to my hours of procrastination, the invention that has not only consumed us, but enslaved us. I pick it up. At public settings, we find comfort in its glaring screen. We pretend we're partaking in something important, when really we're just crushing candy. In small talk with strangers, it doesn't exist. The potential best friends, soulmates, employers, compelling personalities, we miss out on them all by consuming ourselves with the invisible. Our relationships are based off of a number followed by a fire emoji. And no, a conversation is not a black screen with the word streaks. Our Instagrams are so fake, we create fake Instagrams so we can be real. We find no use for sunscreen, for we are more occupied with the screen rather than the sun. And when was the last time we went to a concert and threw our hands in the air rather than our phones? Unemployment, war, hunger, pollution, terrorism, and our president is busy subtweeting. We're the generation of technology, they say, but they forget to mention we're the generation of zombies too. Our lives are so fast-paced because we can just copy and paste, click, backspace, screenshot, and erase. We forget that we can actually talk face-to-face. So yes, I pick it up. This barrier from reality, this 7-ounce gadget, this stress igniter, this killing device, and I power off because we belong awake. Thank you.
With her poem called Rosewater Speaks for Me, we're going to bring to the stage, back up to the stage, Megan Forshee, and the title of her mixtape is probably something to do with witchcraft. Megan Forshee.